Thank you for joining me on a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm your host, Ms.G. This particular episode is enlightening. A gentleman came into my live stream and we just chopped it up. We had a great conversation. It was more refreshing than anything to discover the different paths of life that people take, and the information he was just throwing at me that he learned at his age, and the things that he's gone through. And I shared a few things that I went through as well, and we just really had a great conversation. It was like the West Coast met the East Coast, and we laughed. We talked about a little bit of everything, just like the show, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So when you're listening to this particular episode, definitely take in the different walk of life. I'm from the East Coast. He was from the West Coast. I had the opportunity to visit the West Coast, and like I said, it was a beautiful experience. So as you're listening to the episode, make sure you subscribe. Thank you. And then definitely drop your comments. I love your comments. Let's keep it friendly. So take a listen. He was definitely telling me about the tent cities that were out there, the politics. We talked a little bit about Africa. We talked a lot about relationships. So take a listen to this episode and definitely stay tuned in to a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Here it goes. So why you got this? Why you got this thing with Scorpios, man?
Y'all be extra attitudinal. It's like the Gemini in y'all. Like, y'all be having like traits of Gemini and shit. Just crazy as fuck. Okay, I grew up with my grandmother, all right? And my grandmother used to really, like, I swear to God, feel somebody was in the house and nobody be in the house. You know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, get out of my goddamn room. And me and my little cousin, we look at each other. We like, nigga, we the only ones here. She talking to Air. She telling Air to get out her room.
Not necessarily.
That sounded so Scorpio to me.
Not necessarily, because she could have felt a presence or a spirit. Do have those premonitions?
No. Y'all is nutcases. Just face the facts.
I am slightly throwed. We are not
slightly. It's new throwed like.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back. I am slightly thrown.
That's like saying diet soda. There's no such thing as diet soda. It's just extra sugar.
I'm just saying. I don't think you should not date a Scorpio because you feel like all Scorpios are crazy. That's not true.
Nah. Okay, look, here goes another story. All right. So one day, I'm over at my cousin's house, and they're arguing. My cousin and her man are arguing because he fucked the neighbor downstairs. And, like, I'm trying to console the dude because they've known each other since high school. He was her crush, and she was his. And so I'm trying to console the dude and tell him, like, you know what I'm saying? I know he's telling me how she talks to him, and it's always out of pocket. Makes him feel stupid. And I was like, I know, man, sometimes the way she talks to you makes you kind of want to choke her, right? This nigga runs back and tells her that I just want to choke her. So my father calls me, my cousins, everybody. They like, hey, man, we gonna fuck you up if you ever try to choke your cousin. So no matter how much I tell my cousin, like, I never try to choke you, like, she wasn't hearing me. So, yeah, she believed cum rather than blood. So
that's not every Scorpio. That's not every Scorpio. I personally like being choked, but that's a whole different story.
Not by your cousin, no. I hope not by your cousin.
Not by the cousin. Don't do it. What's up, Kool-Aid? Nah, not by the cousin. No family. None of that deep south shit here. But, you know, being a Scorpio has, you know, every sign and every individual has their challenges, but I am pretty feisty. It takes a special man to deal with me and check me because I do have a mouth on me.
Y'all need Leos.
Huh?
Y'all need Leos or Tauruses. That's the only ones y'all function with.
Negative. I was married for 10 years to a Ag. And, you know, he's my ex-husband now, but we got along. Huh?
Yeah, they are forceful.
Yeah, we got along pretty good. You know, we just, you know, grew apart, but I mean, it wasn't no drama, it wasn't no bullshit. I mean, we still cool as hell. Matter of fact, he was just up here a couple of weekends ago with his old lady. So, I mean, it's different stroke for different folk, you know.
Yes.
But I agree with you. We are slightly throwed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If y'all was a race, y'all be away.
If we was a race, what? We would be what?
Y'all be a whole waste. A whole waste of a race.
Don't do that.
Start again.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And that's only because you have family members that you've dealt with that are Scorpios. Don't get me wrong.
I know people who are Scorpios, and I could already tell by meeting them that, you know, righteously, I don't think I'm going to get along with you for too long. Like, I can be cool with you now, but I know that somewhere along the lines, we not going to be cool.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra. October.
Libra. No, I disagree because we vibing very, very nicely. So, I don't...
But you got to also remember that I'm a Libra with a smart-ass mouth and no filter. So
me too. So it's a bunch of checking going on. So it's like who gonna choke who tonight? It's
well, I'm partial to choking as well. So you know what I'm saying. I don't mind it. But my thing is,
shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up.
I'm a dumbass that need the last word. You know what I'm saying? So.
And you know what? You pick your battles. You know, especially dating. Dating has changed. I'm an 84 baby. So dating has changed a bit in my perspective. It's not the same. People so serious and like
well, I mean,
I'm not her.
The problem is what I think the problem is these days is the fact that most people want it to be fast. They don't want to take their time with it. Like, I really have to get to know you before I put a ring on your finger. You feel me? I shouldn't be in my first year trying to marry you, and I'm older too. You know what I'm saying? I was born 78. So
see, yeah.
You know, if I'm trying to marry you, I gotta know you. You feel me?
Right.
I can't just like have this feeling today and then what happens tomorrow when I don't have that feeling. You know what I mean? Who's to say that I will still have it or I won't? So
I think for me, once I done invested a good 2-3 years into a person, I mean, really after that first year, you can really tell if it's gonna crack or not. You know, I just
not necessarily, because people still are showing you an image. When you date a person, it doesn't mean y'all living together. You know what I mean?
Right.
You shouldn't even live together until you got to actually know that you like that person being around you.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And once you live together, that's how you figure out if you like them being around you permanently.
I agree with you on that.
And you marry the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. So, what's up, countryman and Ryan? I agree with you. I also think, I don't know, for me personally, I mean, I could tell within a year if you ain't got that grind mentality and we ain't trying to make shit crack, I ain't finna waste no time. You know, I don't have a person, a persona or personality that you would meet. You know, I keep it professional. You know, I handle business, but you know, this is me. You know, only thing is you don't know my name, but it's no persona here. I don't believe in giving personas because, you know, I can't keep it up. I can't keep it up. I'm just gonna be real with you. I mean, I'm collard green neck bone fed from Charlotte, so
I could tell by the picture.
Thank you. But I can't keep it up. So I basically keep it 1,000. If a person, even if we on some French shit, I'ma just keep it 1,000 because I'm not finna front. I feel like at 36, I'm too fucking old to front. It is what it is. You know, it's 2021. It's 2021. Huh?
You only 36. You at that point where your body is starting to change for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As a woman, your body is naturally changing, but at 36, that's when you start to get into your old age. You know what I mean? Of body, with relationships and your body affecting your mental. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, every woman, of course, you go through menopause. Of course, you know, some people started in their early 30s, but I just don't have the patience. I don't have the time to sit and just bullshit a person. And you know, if we gonna kick it, we gonna kick it.
Personally, I think it would take more than a year for me to even decide that I'm cool with a woman like that to even want to live with. Because I've dealt with a woman that kind of fucked me up to where now I'm like, shit, females ain't shit but a liability. You know what I'm saying? You need to keep them as far away from the little, whatever you do with your cash, you need to keep that away from them. You can't.
But see, that's another thing too. I mean, I had a bad breakup, you know, not too long enough, but I'm not going to base that off of that because everybody's different. Everybody's different. You could be in that anguish and miss out on your soulmate because you're in that anguish. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's different. Everybody's not that person. Every female is not that person.
I understand this. But the whole thing is, it's a lesson learned. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to use that shit regardless of if it's real or not. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. It's life lessons. Kratos. What you know about God of War? I understand completely. I mean, I took a hit, you know, a serious hit with the breakup that I had. And, you know, I had to pick myself back up and get in line, you know. But I'm going to definitely keep what happened in mind. So if I come across those type of narcissistic behavior again, you know, I know to fall back. But at the same time, you know, I try to let a person know, you know, this is one thing we online, you know, people crazy and shit, you know, stuff like that. But if we take it offline, you know, I definitely, you know, give a person a rundown. Like, you know, I'm not about that shit. I'm not, you know, if you want to play with somebody, we can play the PlayStation or you can play the Xbox, however you want to play it. But I'm not finna play. I don't have I don't do it. You know, I'm single. I don't have any children. I have in heaven, but not in the physical.
I'm sorry.
So no, it's all good. You know, God, Most High God knows. You know, it's all good. I love kids. If people have kids, I love the kids. Like I got plenty adopted kids. Trust me, that my friends and family have. But you know, I don't have time for the bullshit. You know, I'm trying to go see Africa. I'm trying to go see a lion eat a gazelle. I'm trying to fly across to Europe. You know,
that do sound fire though.
Smoking on a fucking safari, smoking some bomb ass African weed. Yo,
you talking about Dirty and Poison?
Yeah.
Urban go. But you got to get the shit original. You can't have no clone because it keeps fucking up the THC balance.
Right.
So.
Right, but I mean, it's stuff that I want to do, and I eventually, when dating someone, I would want to know what they're into and what they want to do, and if we are compatible in the nature, then let's do it.
See, with that last woman, it was my son's mom opened my eyes to a lot of shit by leaving me. You know what I'm saying? She had to teach me finances because I come from here where young men don't want to listen to nobody.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because we know everything already. You know what I'm saying? And then we get into a place where we don't know shit until we have to know shit, and now we in jail. You know what I'm saying? I went down south and I started learning shit because I was around people who was actually giving us game for free. You know what I'm saying? So with the baby mama, she schooled me to a lot of shit. I'll be right back.
And that's real. I mean, you know, when you dealing with someone and they putting you on the G, and it's not just in Sacramento. That's every damn where, you know.
It's a lot of places, yeah.
You know, and I think it's deeply. I think it's really not talked about, but as a woman and in my profession, I have to help a lot of grown men understand a lot of different contracts, and I feel like they should already know. But when you live in that street life, you're not attentive to that shit.
And see, I wasn't even living the street life. That was the thing. What I was doing was I was being financially irresponsible. And as a new father, you're fucking not just you're fucking your baby mama, you fucking the baby, you fucking whoever helping, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I come from a place where my culture is like, you can't tell me shit. And her culture is like, you better listen. I'll beat your ass.
What's your nationality?
Creole, Filipino, and black.
God damn.
Yeah, excuse me.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I get confused from Mexican a lot.
So. No, I didn't think that when I saw your picture. I said he's something else. But when I came when I came out to Cali, imagine this country girl coming to Long Beach, and I touched down in LAX, and I'm blown. So I get to Long Beach, and I'm like, oh God, I left the South for this, but I stuck it out because it was a different concrete, but I made sure I was able to see every dang on hood. I had to see the hoods. I had to go to Compton. I had to go to Inglewood. I had to, see where the rides were. I went to the swap meets. It was so much fun. Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Right.
Right. The weirdos out there.
Right.
They so rich, they do weird shit, no one cares.
But this country girl got so much love.
Oh yeah.
In Cali. I met some beautiful people. And they didn't judge me on my accent. They didn't judge me on none of that.
No, you know why? Because most of our relatives come from the South or the East. You know what I'm saying? Or the North.
Yeah.
And they deep out here. You know what I mean? They came with a whole squad, but we always keep in touch with our folks. Even when we poor, we still want to talk to y'all. We want to get game from y'all, what it's like out there and shit.
Yeah.
I was 16 when I seen Louisiana. That shit was so beautiful, the Spanish moss.
Right. And it's such a fresh breath of air when you travel, and you have a lot of people who never leave home, and I think that's really sad, that you never leave where you're from, because there's so much beauty out here in this world. That's why I'm trying to get to Africa.
I told somebody the other day, I said, man, I wish I would have listened to Trump when he was giving that one-way ticket, to Africa. I should have listened. Because I've been wanting to go to Uganda. People tell me it's war-torn, but I'm like, dude, you have to understand, like, I seen Idi Amin make the Queen of England bow to him. Meanwhile, the president of the United States bows to her. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
I'm just saying.
Big facts.
Plus, the American dollar, if you take $1 over there, that's almost 4,000 of theirs.
Right. It's such a different walk of life, and I have plenty of friends that tell me all the time. They was like, get you about $4,000 and get you a round trip ticket and go to Africa. And I'm like, word, I'll take you.
I wouldn't even do the round trip.
Well, the only reason why I say is because if I ain't got at least 30, 40 racks on me, I can't just live over there. I gotta have some racks. So I would have to come back once I've saw what I've seen and visit, wherever I need to visit to see where I want to live, to map it out.
I've been thinking the same, but I've been thinking like instead of coming back to collect whatever money I needed, I was thinking about having it stored up. You know what I'm saying? Like already.
Yeah.
And at a whim's notice, buy some property out there.
Yep.
I want a compound. I want to start, like, you remember back in the days when a grandmama used to make you clothes or stitch up your uncle or your aunties or
hem your pants.
Yeah. You feel me? Now that's a very important trade to have.
It is.
You have all these designers. They go and get designers who could be designing their own clothes and make them work for Gucci. Make them. So, you could make billions, rather settle for 100,000s.
And that's the thing, I think a lot of people, I don't know, like, a lot of people get things twisted and, they think the United States is everything, but, the United States been so like a whole long time.
Listen, this is gangbang territory.
Oh yeah, this you get stepped on, this shit done been stepped on and resold, stepped on again. So I think as I grow into the woman that I am and I prosper more and more each day, the Most High allows me to, I start to realize maybe I want to leave the country. I definitely want to see Egypt. I want to go see the pyramids. Right? I want to fucking ride a camel and all that shit.
I looked at Morocco too.
Yes.
It's beautiful, but it's expensive.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have your finances in check, and you gotta understand how far the U.S. dollar goes in each country.
Right.
You have to understand that. I'm even game to visit Europe. I definitely want to see Europe. I wouldn't mind having a spot of tea. It's just.
I want to see Europe. I've had my fair share of white folks.
I know, but just to say that I went and I was able to maybe see Paris, and I'm just her. Like, I'm all into that.
I understand Paris because you're a Scorpio, but the rest of that shit, like Ireland, I do want to see, but I want to see it from a helicopter and go straight to like France or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to visit a place that's miserable like Seattle.
Right. I get it. And I think most importantly, to venture to these places and go to these places and actually bring my swag, my southern mentality and how I am, my spirit. Yeah, how I am as a person, and then mingle with the locals, and it's just different. Like, smoke different weed.
One thing I loved about like Texas, it was a place where you get your bread up and afford shit. The thing I liked about Bama was that it was cheap as fuck, but most of the jobs made sure they didn't pay you dick.
Right.
But you could still afford it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could afford the bare necessities.
Right.
But like Florida is a lot like California. They try to keep you fucked up.
And see, I'm not too nothing I haven't even been to Florida. Nothing entices me to go to fucking Florida.
It shouldn't.
It's
right. Just really okay. Look, like Texas, I noticed like as far as the South goes, like they have the most highest intelligence I've seen. As far as like when you go to like Memphis, you see a lot more idiots than you do more intelligent people. You go to Nashville, you see more intelligent people than you do in Memphis, but you still see a lot of dummies getting drunk. Texas seems like they got a lot of motherfuckers out there that really got their grind on.
I mean, Texas is cool, don't get me wrong. And me being a Southern belle and being from North Carolina, I got a little debate with that. But, you know, I come from a city that's conservative, and Charlotte is grown tremendously. It's
I've
not. Huh?
I've seen y'all airport. I've never seen an airport with a Gucci store in it.
Charlotte is a very conservative city, but it is still growing. I personally left Charlotte years ago just because it's home, and I could always go back and visit.
Right.
You know, so I always wanted to live somewhere else, you know, than where I'm from.
I understand that. But
what's up, Bishop? The juice.
What would you consider comfortable? Somewhere that's similar to home, or somewhere that's just brand spanking new?
Just somewhere that's brand spanking new, like, and that would take. Now, don't get me wrong, that would take me journeying there, my spirit feeling that place, me researching, right? You know, so I would want something brand spanking new, which is why I went out to the West Coast, which is why I had went out to the West Coast, was to see what the West Coast was like, because the West Coast is different, very, very different than the East Coast. Yeah. We don't have oil pumps at every gas station, and you know, we don't have the little ships and the little islands that you can see from the beach. So it was very intriguing to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was very intriguing to me to see that. Like, that fucked me up. I'm going to the gas station and I see this big ass oil pump. Just
you was in Long Beach, you say?
I was in Long Beach. So
I've never seen that city. California is so big.
It's so big, right? Yeah. It's so big. And then when I had a chance to visit Compton, it was something to see, you know. It was just something to see. I rode the train. I mean, just the different people. I went to a bar, and it was just so much love, and it was so much, you know. It was so much beauty. It was a lot of beauty. It was a lot of beauty.
Don't get me wrong. I love our landscape, but most of the time I really hate our people. Our people out here really hate each other, man.
And I hate that too. I hate that too, but what I hate the most, what I saw was the tent cities. That fucked me up. Honestly,
I'm not depressing, ain't it?
Oh my God. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. We had a little section in Charlotte.
Wait till it's summertime. We gonna be way worse. You gonna smell that shit on the freeway now. I ain't playing with you. This is some real serious shit, and these motherfuckers gonna keep jacking rent up and talking about we're doing the best we can. They not doing shit for us.
I cried, honestly. My hand to God. I cried when I saw a man, and it's so nice. If y'all never been to Cali or Long Beach, take that trip. It was so beautiful out.
Without money, though.
Right, you gotta have your money up. It was so beautiful out, and I was sitting on, I call it a porch, but it was a balcony. And I was sitting out there, and I was blazing, because I mean, y'all got some of the best weed.
Thank you.
I mean, oh my God. I got so high I had to stop smoking. So Real talk. And I'm a motherfucking chiefer. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there chiefing. I'm sitting there minding my business chiefing. And this guy is dead ass sleep on the side of the building. Just knocked the fuck out.
Mouth open and shit.
I couldn't believe it. And then when we took that ride and I saw them fucking tents, I cried, I prayed. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe people were living like this. Like, of course, I know we have homelessness.
About downtown LA?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Skid Row.
Like,
that's the true Skid Row.
What the waka flocka flame?
Come out here to SAC. You gonna see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't see it. I would probably just break down, dog, because it's like you got so much fucking money over there. You could tell
taxing us, the rich. You know what I'm saying?
But you could see in the South, in some parts of the South, you can't really tell the rich versus the poor. But in Cali,
we still love one another though.
No, we don't.
Love one another.
No, we don't.
Wait, hold on.
No, we don't.
Hold on. When it comes to y'all soup kitchens, I'm in the state capital right now. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You should see this place called Loaves and Fishes. Google it if you don't mind. But Sacramento has this place called Loaves and Fishes. They got a whole bunch of tent cities around this motherfucker, man. But you go downtown, they don't want them down there. They changed everything about downtown. I mean, the state capitol right there. The motherfuckers is just walking around rich as fuck, looking at poor people, and not doing shit about it.
And that's so crazy because in Charlotte, they did the same thing, but the tent city downtown Charlotte wasn't as big as what I saw on the West Coast. It was like a little, group. But they found those people housing. And they're trying to help those people get back on their feet, so to say. This is what they put on the news. I don't really know.
Well, see, out there, and like, okay, I was in Bama, and I was homeless out there, okay? With them, they made a place out of an old school and refurbished it to have it where men on one side, women on the other, and then you need a pass to go out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're just a dope fiend trying to just live off the system, now we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? But they still show them love. They give them something to eat, give them a blanket, woo, woo, woo. Well, out here, when you homeless, they just give you a blanket and a tent until you go forth, have plenty. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's so fucked up. Like, that's so fucked up, bro. Like, on everything I love, that shit hurt me to see.
It's the most depressing place on earth. I don't know why people want to keep coming here and be broke at the same time, but Cali gonna break you for good. Like, it's worse than Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You got hella fucking gambling shacks out here because gambling legal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, weed legal, but gambling's worse than weed. You know what I mean? You got more of an addiction to battle. So I wouldn't suggest somebody come out here with a gambling habit thinking that it's like Jackson or something.
Facts. You know? Facts. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I personally ventured out to the West Coast because my free spirit itself wanted to see that side, and
I understand
when I got there, it was so beautiful. Like, I had met this guy. He was actually a Mexican. He was a Mexican guy, cool as shit. And he took me for a ride up the coast, and he took me on this big ass boat, and we ate fish and shrimp and all type of shit. And I mean, we just sat and watched the water. It was so beautiful and peaceful. The little mountains, and of course Trump Towers is every fucking where. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it just disgusted me how you could just see the rich versus the fucking poor. It's no medium. It's no medium.
You remember that Tupac documentary, Thug Angel? Mm-hmm. It's a rapper from the Bay Area called Ray Love. Ray Love was explaining how him and Pac was in these little apartments, and their parents was on dope, and they was some little knuckleheads trying to serve dope and shit. They could come out their apartment with all these crackheads, look at the bay water, and see motherfuckers on their yacht partying, having a good time while they hungry. They eating wish sandwiches and shit.
Real shit.
See what I'm saying?
Real shit.
That's how Cali is. You know what I mean? Like,
but
it's
see,
a whole oxymoron.
When you raised in the South, it's a bit more. I think we are a bit more spoiled on the East Coast. Period. I'ma say that.
Yeah.
I'ma say that.
Even in the Deep South, folks is more spoiled with money than they are with, like, we spoiled with weed.
I was more thinking of the land because.
Nope.
I was.
We don't own nothing out here.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Is versus the green, the trees, the like. I'm from the hood, but when I went to Cali, I'm from the suburbs. I'm from the motherfucking suburbs compared to y'all hoods. Like,
have you tried Detroit yet? They worse than us.
Nah, I ain't even made it. I ain't even made it to Detroit, but Cali did it.
Detroit, you understand?
Cali did it for me because it's like the bars and shit on the windows and the dirt. And
it's a fire hazard though.
Like, I'm like, oh shit, this ain't just a movie. This ain't just, this ain't just movie shit. They really have bars on the motherfucking windows. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I was tripping. Like, straight up. Like, in Long Beach, they didn't have no grass. It was fake grass.
Right.
Like, you had to put your own grass down and shit. And then here I am, a Southern Belle. I'm a Southern Belle, and I go outside and there's trees and there's grass and mowing the lawn and motherfuckers picking up their paper and shit, In Cali, that ain't the case, in certain places.
The reason why I said money in the South is because if you do own land, you can actually grow food and don't have to spend money on food. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can actually get handed down some land from your great-grandpappy because he actually gave a fuck enough to make sure that in the contract of signing that you could not sell it to anyone but a family member. You know what I'm saying? That's one good piece of good sense that you get from Southerners. Yep. If you did not know that, you need to do that if you own the fucking land.
Well, let me tell you about these dumb motherfuckers in the South. Let me tell you what they do.
Niggas is saying, fuck that contract now.
Let me tell you what these dumb motherfuckers is doing. And it grinds my gears. Because the further I went south, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I went and I love my state. Shout out to North Carolina, but it's some slow motherfuckers here. I love my people, but god damn it. I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
For a job. I love the water. Of course, I'm a water sign. I love the water. And I went to Wilmington. And I didn't know, coming from Charlotte, I consider myself city country. So, coming from Charlotte, I didn't know, it was so many black people that had land down there. I was really proud. And then once I got to learning the area and understanding what was what, even though the land that they're on, like you say, their grandparents and all that own, and they gave it to them. These motherfuckers are strung out, drugs. The land look fucked up. They got double wide trailers. Big land, 2-3 trailers on them, but they got tarps over the motherfucking roof because they smoking dope in the house. It was fucking ridiculous. I had never been, as a black woman, I had never been so angry.
Yeah.
Because
it's really disappointment.
It's disappointment because if we, like I said, I love the South. I love where I'm from, but if I had even had the opportunity for somebody to pass me anything, bruh. Like, are you serious? You got a whole 2 double wide trailer on some land and you don't even want to cut the grass. You don't even want to take care of the property.
You don't want to show appreciation for what you got.
Nothing.
That bird in the hand is worth two in the bush shit be real as fuck.
And then yo past the grandparents, do you know what the fuck they had to go through to get the land?
Well, this is how they monopolized that shit over here. What they did was they got us to selling dope back in the 80s.
Of course.
By the time the 90s got here, so many of them niggas was locked up and so much of their money was lost up in litigation and shit, you know what I'm saying, that they lost the home. Alright? Once they lost the home, once it went up for foreclosure, the bank bought it, right?
Right.
Once the bank buy it, they own it. Now they only gonna rent it out. If they do sell it, they're gonna only sell it for in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
The same house here I can get for $20,000 in Alabama.
Property value goes up.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then that
they
makes
put a Whole Foods in the hood and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And see, this is the thing that I think a lot of, and I'm not even going to just say Southerners, I'm just going to say people in general. If you are in a position to where land or you have ownership of some sort of land, please take care of it because it's such a waste. It's such a waste because you can be growing your own food. You can be raising your own animals and chickens and stuff. Shit, I wouldn't eat nothing off the, okay, and children. And
raising your own warriors, man.
Right, and you can get the children to run the land. You could teach them because one day, you know what? Instead
skills that pay bills.
Thank you.
Shit. Don't have your child broke out here, broke of knowledge.
But see, this is what killed me, fam. This is what killed me, love. This is what kills me. How we talking, how we conversing. I wish a lot of other people can converse and have these conversations. I'm not saying these conversations are not being had. They just need to be had more often. Because when the water starts to come up short, the food starts to come up short, and shit's starting to come up short, you would have wished you would have took care of that land.
Correct. Very big point. Most of the men that I remember that still owned their shit in 1996, before I went to Louisiana, they died with a lot of their sons in prison. Being from California, the upsetting part is most of them never got their life together. Some of them did, but most of them didn't. Now they're strung out. Mm-hmm. I'm younger, but you know what I mean? Like, I've always kept the same look. Most of the people my age look older.
I get that. And that's just because of the drug use. And you know what? Everybody has their demons. One of my favorite rappers, a lot of people's favorite rapper, but, you know, DMX was my guy. I had an opportunity to meet X. And he was my guy. That was my dude. His music got me through a lot of shit in life. So
I feel some of his music. I was never really that much of a fan, but it was because, like, as far as generally speaking, he never really wanted to be, like, he didn't mind so much, like, kicking it with white people at all. Not saying that you should. I'm just saying that, you know, as far as from my point of view, because I grew up in a racist town. I've been called nigger here more than anywhere I've ever been in the South. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when it comes down to California, like, I look at California as the most racist place to be. They're just sneaky with it. They don't tell you they're being racist. The South, they be like, fuck you, nigger.
Yeah.
But you can get this job, though.
Yeah.
I have this job for you.
Yeah.
You know, specifically designed for you.
Yeah.
But here, it's like, fuck you, nigger. No, you can't have a job. Mm-hmm. You can get security. That's what I can get for you.
Yeah, it's a different tax bracket.
It is, but when we're all battling for jobs here, you know, guess who's more expendable?
Yeah.
Niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
People of color. And you know what? It's sad.
I can't say people of color because that has a general synopsis of every race.
True, and I believe every race does struggle, and I do kind of believe at these particular times we are all in the same boat. I really do believe that because you got the rich trying to stay rich, and of course they don't keep the poor poor.
Well, this is my thing, okay? when I see, like, after the 80s that you guys bought y'all house here in my neighborhood, I'm gonna start thinking that, you know, you guys might be trying to take over. And then when I start seeing more of your people, I'm like, okay, you did take over. That was the whole thing of why they started burning down those shops in LA, was because those people could talk to them any kind of way, handle them any kind of fucked up, and then still charge them for it at the end of the fucking day.
Right.
And if you do anything, we can charge you again.
Right.
And your kids, when they get older,
right.
even if they didn't do the crime, they still fit the bill, so we gonna throw them in jail too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
but
when it comes to black folks in California, we shouldn't be here. We should not be here at all.
And that's why the cycle needs to be broken, because I saw a lot of poverty. I saw a lot of
young
stuff.
Folks out here don't care about nothing no more.
They don't
at all.
But that's not just there. That's not just there.
Just to get $1.
That's not just there.
Not 10. Yeah, but I'm saying here we started the whole quote unquote reality rap of shit.
I mean, it's not just in Cali, babe. It's really everywhere.
Popular, so with the whole rebellion
what's
type
up,
of thing,
Scorpio, like, what's good?
We couldn't even evolve because motherfuckers gave us so much bullshit like dope. You know what I'm saying? And then we got rappers that wanted to rap about dope. And now we have a whole bunch of niggas incarcerated. We do have motherfuckers in college now. I ain't gonna lie. But we still have a lot of people locked up behind dope. And I'm like, man, I keep telling folks, man, if you sell dope still to this day, you a fed. You've been a fed. You didn't even know it. You a fed though. You work for the feds, bro.
I personally, you know, I hope that this genre, this new age of millennials actually evolve. I hope and pray they evolve. I hope and pray they are much wiser than we were, you know, because the world is changing. You know, they just found a church that popped up in the middle of Mexico's ocean. And the church is, I believe, 40 years old. And they said the reason why it popped up because the water receded. Right. And a lot of people may think that's minor, but that just goes to show you that this planet is tired. You know, its resources are becoming short. Yes.
With the trees, they still make paper to this day out of trees, and we have weed. Weed can actually take the place of all that shit.
But the government
they keep cutting it down because most of the government's friends own shit that profits from the dead of trees. So
yep.
with that going on, you know, you have to start at the source. If you want to end something, you have to go to the source. And most people are afraid because you can actually pay half of the poor to kill the other half.
Yeah.
And then you can pay half of them to kill the other half.
Yeah.
Until you have just one nigga, and if you standing with the last bullet in your gun, you can kill him too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta pay nobody.
That part.
You know what I mean?
That part. And we're slowly doing that. We're slowly doing that. But see, you know what's even crazier? They're speeding this shit up because we're not doing it quick enough by having the law kill us, and they're openly killing us. You know, it's crazy because on my podcast I had a discussion about the young lady the little girl.
How do you start a podcast, by the way? I'm wanting to do one of my own.
Okay, well, I'll get with you after the stream, and I'll fill you in on how to do that. Twan, what's good? Love, what's good? Good morning. Cool, what's good? Mike, what's good? Another, what's good? But I honestly, strongly, I love my podcast. I'm gonna put you onto it. Subscribe to it as well. No doubt. But it's crazy because I was talking about this young lady, and she was going to stab another young lady, but the daddy was out there kicking one of the little girls. Either way it goes, from which we come from, I mean, I know we come from different backgrounds.
Areas. Yeah.
Yes. But even back then, you had that village that would have broke that shit up. Nobody would have died. Nobody would have got killed. It would have been, y'all take y'all ass home. Well, instead, the police came and shot the fuck out of her, and she's dead.
That was on the news, right?
Right.
The little girl.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
And people went crazy. Thank you, Lord.
With that situation right there, people act like it's fucking news when black folks get shot by a cop.
Right.
That shit's been going on
for decades.
Like at least a smooth 100.
Decades.
At least a smooth 100. Okay.
It's not news. It's just openly being shown now because of technology, and
it still ain't admissible enough in court to actually get the job done that's supposed to be done. When people are discussing justice,
we have no rights.
That's why they say just us.
They don't even consider us human nature. Right. They don't even consider us human nature. That shit is in the Constitution.
Also, you have to take, just like what's his name? The great Elijah Muhammad. Okay, when he said you have to take what they teach you and turn it around, and then you actually see the truth in it. If you want to look for a monkey, you have to look for somebody without a top lip.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Okay. Yes.
Because monkeys don't have lips.
Right.
No, a monkey can do this. So can white folks, but white folks can't really. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have to go get their shit shot up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, it's faux lips.
But don't get me wrong, I love all races, all backgrounds, I love all people in all walks of life. But I do not...
I don't share her view on that, but...
I do not condone racism. I do not. Finger roll was good. I do not condone racism.
I've been called part of the problem when somebody had said, like, black girls can't do this. And so I said, can't do what? Have no lips? And she started trying to roast me. So I roasted her hella hard. And then she was like, I'm going to report you. And then somebody else jumped on and said, yeah, if you didn't want all the smoke, I don't know why you said anything. You shouldn't have said shit. Like, maybe you shouldn't include black women in this post, and then maybe it'd have been all right. So then everybody else started jumping on that shit, like, yup,
and see, that's just, thank you, love. That's just the thing. Like, you know, it's crazy how when you cut you cut me, you cut the next person, we all gonna bleed the same. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy. You know, the hatred to hate someone just because of a color, just because of, you know, they background, you know. I really just don't understand. Like, I would never understand it. I love all people, I really do, until you cross me, and that's just for anybody. But at the end of the day, I don't have a racist bone in my body. I treat everyone the same until they give me a reason not to. You know,
I'm gonna come back and respond.
It comes okay. It comes upon a time to where I think, you know, it was a video going on social media, and they was asking the kid what color is such and such, and he was like brown, and then she was like, well, what color is such and such, and he was like black, and he was like, they're all the same to me. He didn't see color. That shit is taught. Racism and hatred, that shit is taught.
It certainly is. But I noticed that silence is compliance. Okay? If you stand idly by and you profit from it, you know, you just as bad as the person that you're so-called protesting. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need anybody marching with me with like Martin Luther King, because I'm not marching. If I'm gonna march, I'm gonna march to the motherfucking house that did whatever they did to me. You know what I'm saying?
I always
I'd
tell
rather get
people,
justice than look for law that they control. I'm not gonna do that.
I always
See what I'm
tell
saying?
people I am more like Malcolm, less like Martin.
Exactly.
I always
By
tell
any
people
means.
necessary. Like, do not fucking cross
Big
me.
facts.
You know, and that saying goes a long way. You know, I'm not the one to march, because I get it. You know, people want to protest, they anguish. I'm more of, what the fuck are we gonna get together and do? What we gonna do? You know, let's do something.
Right.
You know, just like the storm on the Capitol building. Had that been people of color, it would have went
a lot more bullets.
It would have went a lot differently. So
Yeah.
I think we all get the message.
I don't even look at that as real. I look at that as some way to get focus off of what needs to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that was in the news one day, especially that day in particular, where they were actually running a real news feed, and that shit got cut short by what was supposedly happening up there, because I noticed they like to do camera tricks with that fucking news. I don't trust that shit. I don't trust them, because they're also controlled by the same people that we protest, we vote for, we do all this fancy shit, but nothing ever gets done. There has not been one change from 1969 to 2021.
And,
what's changed?
And you know, it's so funny you speak of that, because I like to throw subliminals. I really do. And I hope you guys follow me on IG as well. Subscribe to the podcast. And I'll give that information out shortly. But I was on my IG, and I came across...
Blast out with that information?
Huh?
Sorry. Are you going to send a blast out with that information? Like a topic for your live right now?
I don't think they would let me. I have to verbally say it, because I can't type nowhere in here.
Okay.
But I put this on my story on Instagram on the podcast, and it was so much needed to see that this is what's going on in the news. This shit is super fake. If you haven't seen this,
oh yeah,
definitely take a look at it, because all this shit is rigged. You know.
Now, Mama, we damn near the same age, okay? So I'm gonna bring up an old movie that you probably remember.
Okay.
You remember Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Damn.
You remember one of the movies he was in where he put on the shades and now you see aliens?
Yep.
Then you take them off, he see people?
Yep.
Okay. That's what we living in. We need those glasses to really see through all the bullshit they telling us to consume, buy more.
But don't
worry about saving.
We have, and I'm gonna tell you something, love. We have the tools. We're just blocking them. If you are a person, and hello, welcome everyone in my stream. If you are a person who meditates and you're in tune with yourself, you could reach that insight. You could reach that higher insight. I love to meditate. I meditate every day, you know. And if you're a person that believes in a spiritual nature, you can have that tool to peep out the bullshit. A lot of people don't know we at war right now. A lot of people think, oh, you know, we just sitting. No, we're at war. And the people are just sitting back taking it with no Vaseline, you know.
And that's all races. It's just, you know, they like some others than others.
Right.
There's an Asian dude right now getting picked over a white guy by white guys because of the fact of that he's gonna make them more profit.
Yep.
And they gonna fuck that white dude up that they don't like. because the game ain't got no love for its own. So you really have to be on your guard. Either you're gonna sell, or you're gonna buy. But if you're trying to do none of the above, you're gonna die. That's all they want.
And you know what? And when you get in that league, and what a lot of people don't know, you know, and I love music. I'm an artist myself. I used to be anyway. But you have a lot of the industry is just sold the hell out, and they're in a different tax bracket. So a lot of the things that they're talking about and rapping about, you think it's relatable to you. No, the music has blinded us to a lot of shit that's going on. And if you're not trying to get you some land, if you're not trying to own a house, then you got to be the stupidest motherfucker that I could ever speak to. Right. Like if your end game, right? If your end game has nothing to do with that, and you have kids, right? What the fuck are you gonna leave your kids?
Right, $1 each. A donation cup. Here, go stand out in front of McDonald's.
No, what they doing now, the new way begging now is Cash App. I don't know if you peep shit, but people kill me when it's their birthday or it's anniversary or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's all they say,
you know, they'll put it up on social media, and that shit is so disturbing because that's the new way of begging.
I just got here with my sister that I hadn't seen in like about maybe 15, 20 years.
Welcome, everyone.
Like, she asked me to send her daughter some money for graduation. I just got here. Like, I wasn't even here for like 2 weeks. She was like, yeah, just, you don't have to come by. Just send some money, Cash App. I was like, okay, this little nigga don't really know me, but all right.
Right.
And so I came to the conclusion of like, nah, I'm not doing shit. Fuck that.
It's crazy how you have to be mindful of the circle, including family. You have to be mindful nowadays of your surroundings. You have to be mindful, much more mindful, let me correct that, much more mindful and attentive to who you allow into your spirit, into your circle. Because if you're not motivating me, if you're not calling me, or if I'm not calling you, and we don't have that exchange of energy, I don't want to fuck with you.
Right.
Period.
I told my friends that I'm going to have to stop fucking with them. And I've known them for a long time. At least like 25 years. And like I told them I got to cut them off because like it's not really motivating as a friend for me to go out there and go to work. And then, you know, my friends are retired. But when I got money, they don't. And when they got money, I don't. You know what I mean? But we can save up, but they don't want to hear that. So, like, I'm trying to go to Hawaii and kick it big or something. You know, I want my homeboys with me. What if I got married? You know what I'm saying? I would like my homeboys to be in
they can't go.
Nah. So it's like, you know, why would I even want to fuck with you now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have some friends that could actually be there or actually want to try. You know what I mean?
And some people get so complacent. I can't stand a motherfucker that's complacent. Like, if you ain't got no drive about you and all you do is get up every day, smoke weed, and you just there, you don't have no fucking drive about you, miss me with the bullshit. Because I ain't even got time for it. I told you I'm trying to get to Africa and see this lion eat a gazelle. Right. I ain't got time. If you can't come on the safari, then stay your ass where you at.
Shit, fuck that. I'm just trying to marry one of their asses. Man, I seen this one, man. She's a Sudanese woman, and she lives in England, but she is fucking gorgeous. I mean, she is this deep mahogany and just fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want one of those. Like, I'm going to the source. I am not trying to stay here and get a knockoff.
But see, that's the thing.
Asians be doing the most.
We are all true queens in our own nature. I consider myself one as well. You know, and to each his own. To whoever want to date whatever and however. I just think you should cherish it, and I think you should take that journey.
Yeah.
I think you should go rock out there. I think you should see how it is.
You already know I'm a Libra, so I like pretty things. All right? I will only do the best. I'm not trying to do that little, Motel 6 type of shit. It's for the base heads. I don't do that.
And you know what? I personally, if we can't sit at that table and put it on the table, I don't want to fuck with you. I don't have, like I said, I don't have time. It's the sit down. If we can't have a sit down at the table, then it's really no need. The conversation, or you would just get curved, or whatever the case is. Well, I'll tell you. I don't have no problem telling them motherfucking either. At the end of the day.
I went on a date with a woman. All right, this is what was going through my head. I ordered my food.
Thank y'all for the love.
Food. I tried to order for her, but she wasn't playing that shit because she's an independent woman. So, as we're sitting there, I'm asking questions, and she's looking at her phone the whole time. So this goes to show you how much of a guy I really am. I'm not caring nothing about what the fuck she's looking at. I'm just babbling, trying to keep her mind operating in the fashion that I'm going to get me some ass. You know what I'm saying? So now at this point, I'm like, nigga, I am 42 going on 43. I don't have very many fucks left. I'm not about to fuck shit. Fuck that, fuck this, but no more fucks given. You see what I'm saying? Because at this point, if I just want a fucking type of relationship, I could fuck with a hooker. It's cheaper. You know what I mean? But I don't want that. So I'm like, man, stop looking at your phone on a date.
Well, I mean, and that's what I think is. I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because we're in a day and age to where all we do is this.
Yeah.
We're in that day and age. But if someone, and this is me, if I'm very intrigued and I'm very interested in you, you have my undivided attention, and your job is to keep it. So once that's given, if I feel like, oh, we don't have anything in common, or I feel like it's not going nowhere, and you see me do this, I'm pretty much. The
date is over. The date was over as soon as I picked it up.
It's like, because nowadays I don't need you to drop me off. I can take an Uber, or I can drive my own shit. So it's really a give-take type of situation, and I don't like being rude, but if I just see that it's no interest, or we're not speaking on the same wavelength, it's no point. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste mine. Like you said, you 40, I'm 36. I ain't got time.
All right.
Like, what you trying to do? Where you see yourself in the next couple of years? What's the plan?
I asked a woman what type of books she liked to read. She thought I was stupid. She told me, I'm stupid. Like, you're stupid. I was like, what?
She said that?
Yeah. Like, what the motherfucker?
Oh my goodness! Because you asked her.
I told another lady. I asked her. I said, "What do you plan on doing with the rest of your life?" She said, "I'm grown. I think about grown shit." I was like, "Okay." So conversation over. I looked at my friend. I said, "Man, you need to get this bitch out your house, man."
And that's crazy, because she could have came and replied much differently.
Well, she could have came at me with a grown answer, like, fuck, nigga, I don't need to know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have said that. I would have respected that a lot more than, I think about grown shit. Like, what's more grown than your future? Like, what type of motherfucker are you? Like, who fucked your head up, man?
But you know what? Nowadays, I mean, when you have a a series of questions for a person, you could tell whether or not if they've been in something real because of their responses. And you could tell whether or not that person is even going to elevate or meet your intelligence in any type of way. You know, a lot of people out here dating nowadays, you got people dating to have somewhere to stay. You got people out here using and abusing whatever, but you know, you kind of got to filter out the real from the fake. And it's not hard for me. It's not hard for me at all. Like, I have no fucks to give to play with anybody. You know, I'm a very loving spirit. But when it comes to my personal time, it's not to be fucked with, because time is money. You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel I'm a great judge of character, but I do feel like sometimes I get a little sixth sense of when somebody ain't no good for me. So a lot of times the way I brush them off is dictating either I have a little respect for you or myself, or I just really don't respect you. Like, it's either the first two or that last one. That last one is basically like I'm writing you off. Like, here, this is me throwing gasoline on the bridge. This is me lighting the match. This is me saying bye.
Right.
This is me walking away with the fire on. You know?
Right.
But I've even cut off. I'm a good cutter offer. Like, I'll cut off a motherfucker real.
A whole lot of that. A little bit of this. A little bit of that. A whole lot of that. A little bit of